Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, please let me know. It's very important. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, type one. Oh, cool. So I can see some people here already. I can see Major is here. I can see Leo. I can see Taproot, Sheriff, Monsika, Mickey, Mark. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. I can see Tool, Speedy, Vin. Thank you so much for joining. So we're going to be having Brian in the next 4 minutes, and yeah, of course. I believe some of us have tried the new feature that we just integrated, and you would agree with me that it's so seamless, it's so easy, and this is something we're actually building. This is something we really want our glider. And today, Brian is going to walk us through this process of how you can easily do it for those that are still probably getting it wrong somewhere or that still want to know more about anything. And yeah, it's going to be live streaming, sharing the screen, of course, and you can ask questions as user. So this is Brian here today, and please make sure you ask your questions. Don't be scared. Can drop it in the comments. I'll definitely take it and ask him on your behalf. So guys, in 3 minutes I think we'll be having Mr. Brian. Is it good I call him Mr. Brian? Okay, that is funny. uh I'll probably just make the last announcement for people to join. So we'll be starting in 3 minutes, guys. Anyways, thank you so much for joining. Thanks for being here. It's Monday. It's currently 2:27 here with me from my end. And yeah, I know we have some community members that are joining from Hong Kong, from Asia. Thank you so much for always choosing to spend at least this hour with us. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. So I think, okay, we have Brian already. Cool. Okay, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this wonderful planet. Once again, welcome to our event today with Brian. We're having our co-founder. But before I pass the mic to Brian, before Brian takes the stage, I just quickly want to talk about something very important. And yeah, so I want everyone to think about how you feel. There's this feeling that you have if you want to maybe move funds, on chain, you want to buy something, you want to sell something, you want to do all these things, and there's this friction. Let's imagine you're trying to do it and you're being stopped by a friction, right? So maybe a pop-up sign up that you have to sign something, or you have to pay gas fee for something. It's really frustrating. And I was even interacting with the DApp yesterday. I don't want to mention the name. I mean, you have to sign before you do anything. I mean, in this 2026, are you still signing for anything? It's really frustrating. I just had to give up on that because I had 10 things to do on that protocol, and I can't keep signing and signing and signing, right? So, and for a very long time, uh, DeFi has been powerful, of course, but it's not really welcoming. We've been seeing a lot of all these frictions. DeFi works absolutely, but it doesn't flow, which is not really good. And most people quit crypto because of that. I mean, we've seen people that just keep complaining about friction, about all these things. They quit because the experience is actually not, welcoming enough. It's really exhausting. So quietly, we at Glider, we've been, building over the past few months, right? We've been building and obsessing over one simple idea. If what if action was instant? What if you could move assets like Web3? What if Web3 applications feel like WhatsApp, feels like Google, feels like Facebook? What if you could do all these things seamlessly on chain, right? And yeah, this feature has gone through countless internal tests, rewrites, and edge cases, all for one reason. We want to make sure that we remove every unnecessary steps between intent and execution. We want to make sure we allow users to move anything seamlessly on chain. And today I am really happy and excited to introduce Brian so I can walk us through the whole process and how we can make the most of this buy and sell feature of Glider. Thank you so much. And yeah, let's have Brian, guys.
Thanks, kids. Can you hear me all right? I think so.
Absolutely.
Welcome, guys. As Gid said, right, there is way too much friction these days in investing and in Web3 in general. Even the simplest things, I think we've found a lot of nice, I wouldn't say product market fit per se, but I would say just user joy out of. I love seeing that a lot of you have shared how much gas you've saved by using Glider, which is excellent, right? When you have to go and trade on other protocols, most of the time you're paying for gas. And so it's 2026. We shouldn't have to pay for gas. Glider covers all of that for you across any chain. And that's the way it should be. As Gid said, last week we rolled out a new feature called buy and sell. It's something very, very simple. It's nothing crazy, right? I don't want to overhype this feature more than it is, but it's something that a lot of you have asked for, and it's been, sort of a very basic primitive that I think we should offer. And so, what is buy and sell? Well, it's what it sounds like, right? You can buy and sell individual assets. And so, let me just share my screen and sort of walk you through how we got to this, because there are a lot of things that went into it. So, give me 1 second. All right. So here's your dashboard. Your guys should look very, very similar. What we noticed very early on was that many of you were creating portfolios with a single asset. And let me walk you through that process because it takes, as you'll see, way too long, right? You went to create, you saw this thing. A lot of you were confused by this thing. So, we're going to try to make this better in the future. But, for now, what you had to do is choose an asset and then you would choose like ETH, right? You'd create that portfolio, you'd go through a million steps, and then you'd finally deposit into that. And what we saw is that like 70% of people were holding a single asset in a portfolio. And that's fine, but we should make that way easier for you. And so that's why we've introduced the investing account, right? With the investing account, you can simply just deposit the assets that you have in your wallet, right? And just let them sit in your investing account, right? That way they don't have to be a part of a constantly rebalancing portfolio with any type of, automation behind the scenes. What we will be adding, and this is something that a lot of you have wanted across basically any platform, is a way to automate at the asset level. So let's say I'm holding Ethereum, right? And right now it's at $2,900. If I want to sell that at 3,000, or if I want to buy more at 2,400, we will add that functionality in. That way, again, the whole goal of Glider is you don't have to sit here 24/7 and babysit your assets. They will work for you. We'll also introduce lending. I know lending has taken longer than we expected, but it is something we are very, very excited about. And so your assets will earn yield. And this is important. They will naturally earn yield without you having to click through a million buttons, understand what the lending protocol is doing. We will still make it incredibly transparent, meaning you can see where you're lending, but we feel like we can choose and curate really nice lending protocols for the vast majority of big assets for you guys just to automatically earn yield. All right. There will always be options to choose, riskier lending pools, more conservative lending pools, but we will choose something that we feel like fits what we would put our money in and what we trust our money in for you guys to also have your money in as well. And so we rolled this out in steps, right? So prior to launching buy and sell, Marcos rolled out this really nice asset page where you could see price history and a bunch of metrics on how an asset is performing. This is V1. It will get a lot better. We will curate this more. We will add more interesting information. I would say this is a little bit overwhelming for somebody who's new to crypto. And then last week, what we added was the buy sell functionality. And so if you're not familiar with this, this is brand new. We just launched it. You have a cash balance. So your cash balance is your USDC or your dollars that you're holding in Glider. If you want to deposit more into that, you can. That's where money is pulled from. So for example, I can deposit, I don't know, $30 more of USDC. If you're using Privy or you're logged in with like X or your email, this happens automatically. If you have a wallet connected, which I do, it's going to pop up that wallet and ask me to deposit. So There we go. Deposited 30 bucks. Done. You see my cash balance is up. I will go back to Ethereum and you can see now I have 36 bucks of cash balance. You can deposit whenever you want into the cash balance. You can withdraw it back to your wallet, whatever you want. But that is where everything is drawn from. So if I want to go and buy, let's say, $15 of Ethereum, review that order, we get a quote, confirm the purchase, and then this will take a few seconds. Behind the scenes, what Glider is doing is that we're finding you the best price. Notice that you didn't have to pay any gas, and in a few seconds, this will purchase the $15 of Ethereum. You may notice that there's a little bit of a delay. This is because, again, we are finding you the best price across a whole bunch of different venues. We will make this a little bit faster, but we don't want this to be a flip, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell all day type of experience, right? That is not the user we're building for. And there you go, it's complete. All right. Once you've completed that, you could see it on your dashboard, right? So I already had some Ethereum. Now I've got $15 more of Ethereum. And we'll add more to this in the future. So what you see here is, your holdings. We will show P&L soon. We will show the token amounts. We will make these expandable, like these are expandable so you can see the performance of those tokens. Give us some time. This is V1, right? But we think this is a really nice step up from where we were and a nice feature for all of you. And so, yeah, the same process applies to sell, right? So if you go to an asset page and you're holding it, you can sell it. So I can sell, 0.02 Ethereum, review that order. I won't sell it now, but I'll just leave it. An important thing to know right now that you've maybe seen on our X is that the first 10 million in volume across all of our users will earn a 5x boost on points. And so what that means is for every $10 that you trade, you'll earn 5 points, which is great. Previously, or rather in the future, once we roll back the 5x, you'll earn $1 for every 10 points. So now there are two ways to earn points on Glider. One, through your volume that you invest in Glider, and then two, in the assets that you're holding on Glider. And so, excuse me. So you'll see here, the amount that I'm earning per day, right, is 5,109. You can augment that by adding or investing in assets in your investing account. So every buy and sell will accumulate more points, and that happens instantly. So the $15 that I just traded, that allocated to points instantly. All right. We're getting close to that $10 million mark. I'm not going to lie. We launched that on Thursday, I think. And so we are almost there, which means if you are going to buy assets, you should buy assets soon. They will sit in your Glider portfolio. All of this occurs gas-free. So we pay for all the gas to buy and sell, which is savings that you'll see in your gas savings as well. And yeah, that's more or less it. So, I always want to tease a little bit about what's coming. I think that's important for you guys to know as well. So we have a couple new chains coming. I'm not going to say which ones they are, but they will be rolling out. You might see them quietly roll out in the application before we even announce them. That's happening for a reason. You can go and play with them. So check out which new chains are getting rolled out. On top of that, this week we're focused a lot on fixing a lot of little things. And so many of you have seen that buy and sell won't work for illiquid tokens. We want to make sure that you can buy and sell for illiquid tokens, right? Our goal here is for you to buy major tokens, right? That is really the importance of Glider. You can certainly buy meme coins on Glider, but our focus is really on real tokens, stocks, bonds, things that actually have value. So that will come soon. You'll see some announcements around that, but that is where there's real value, especially for those of you who are outside of the US and you don't have access to buy like Apple stock or Google stock, right? Like these are things that you guys should have access to, and we want to make sure that we give them to you in a really, really superior way than a lot of these other platforms. And so that's coming. And then lending, which I already mentioned. Lending is a big push. And we are really, really excited to roll that out because that means all of us can deposit more money because our USDC is earning yields, our ETH is earning yield, our Solana is earning yield. These are all things that make it reasonable for you to hold your assets in Glider. Cool. Gids, I'll pass it back to you to see if we have any questions. I'm happy to answer a boatload of questions here. I know this was quick, but definitely want to answer anything that's in the chat.
Yeah, perfect. So thank you so much, Brian. We have 76 members currently in the audience. That is great. That is really, really great. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. And I mean, we've all listened to Brian, and I hope that we can start, making transactions around buying and selling of assets. We have Quest coming. We have a lot of Quest coming. We have competitions coming as well. And yeah, feel free to explore the new feature. So a question we have from Cranky. So he said, kindly include history of transactions section for buy and sell transactions. Also, when buying and selling in volume, you lose dollars. If that can get to very minimum, it will encourage people to use Glider more since I lost around $20 if I checked it correctly on Explorer page.
Yep. So yes, we will add transaction history. We wanted to get this out quickly, so you'll be able to see transaction history as well as P&L. Give us some time to get there. When it comes to buying and selling, there is always going to be some slippage, right? It depends on a couple different things. One, time of day. Certain markets are more active during certain periods of the day, right? If you're a market maker who's based in Asia, you're going to provide liquidity during Asia hours. And so markets might be tighter then as compared to US hours. So time of day depends. The size of your trade depends, right? If you traded $1 million and you lost, 500 bucks, right? That's because you're doing a large trade. Even if you trade $200 in a fairly illiquid or brand new token, right? You might find that that gets you to, I don't know, 180 bucks, right? So it depends on the token and the size and the liquidity of that token. We are connected to a bunch of DEX aggregators, and so we always find you the best price available. But know that you're not going to get back perfectly the amount that you bought and sold because that's just not how markets work, right? That's how stocks work, even on like Robinhood and things like that. When you buy Apple, you have to lose or like 5 cents because liquidity is very deep. And then when you sell Apple, you might lose again like 10 cents, right? So that's true regardless of the token. It just depends on the liquidity of the token. There's one other question I answered here that was on withdrawing from the investment account. That should be live like very, very soon. The reason why we didn't include withdrawal from the start is that a lot of people are logging in with social accounts. And when they log in with social, they don't have a wallet to withdraw to. And so for them, the experience of buying and selling is very closed when it comes to Glider. For those of you who have a wallet, this is a very different experience, but we will offer withdrawal very soon.
Cool. So we have another question from Zul. So he said, is it just Glider paying for the gas fees for most of these transactions? I know there's a network in place to get the best prices for every token. How long would this be viable for, especially when Glider gets more traction on it? Or is it just for this particular campaign?
So yeah, we pay for everybody's gas. Everybody's gas. And it's actually very cheap. It's because we're on L2s, so Base and Plume and Solana's fairly cheap. When we do launch mainnet, like ETH L1, there will be some considerations for gas. So yeah, that will be the one where we have to actually be a little bit conservative on how often you can buy and sell, maybe some minimum trade sizes, but otherwise, yeah, we pay for everyone's gas. And I would, if I were you, I would convince other people to start investing and trading on Glider because we pay for your gas, right? It's simply savings that you are not missing out on. I see a lot of people commenting on my points. My points don't matter, guys. And also, money in this account has probably been in there since like last, I don't know, May. So like 8 months. And so it's been there a lot longer. But yeah, my points don't matter.
Okay, so I think we're done with the questions, and yeah, I think we're good to go right now. Now, do you have anything to say to the community?
So look,
Something?
I mean,
Yeah.
I think the important part is like we are building here for the long term, right? This is an investment platform for you to house your wealth and grow your wealth on chain, right? I don't think a lot of other apps can say that. When you're participating on like Pump.Fun or any of these like meme coin trading apps, very few people make money on these applications. And that is a terrible thing, right? Our goal here is to build a platform where you can actually grow your wealth, invest in assets that matter, and see that your investing compounds over time. This is a very different value proposition than a lot of things we've seen in crypto, right? That's why we're bringing in stocks. That's why we're bringing in bonds. That's why we're bringing in real things. Because when you look at charts like NVIDIA, right? Like, let me see, I think I can even show you NVIDIA, right? When I look at NVIDIA, give this a second to load, right? Okay, well, I can't see all time, but you look, over the past year, NVIDIA has returned something like, I don't know, this looks like 10%, right? And while that might not be very exciting to many of you, like compared to flipping a meme coin, you have to realize that your chance of making money is significantly higher, right? Your likelihood of making money on holding a stock like Nvidia or Apple, right? You are going to make money in the long term on average. That is not true with meme coins, where most of them, or almost all of them, will plummet to zero after time. Um, that being said, if you do want to trade meme coins, Glider makes it really easy for you to sell and automate getting out of those meme coins, and we'll make that even better soon so that you don't have to watch them 24/7. And so, like, again, all of this is to say is I don't see a lot of platforms there that really want to help you build your wealth. And that is solely our goal here, right? Um, you should be investing in assets that have long-term value. Okay. I can't overemphasize that enough. And I hope that's clear from our marketing as well. Like, we are here for you to build wealth. It may not be your like 10 million X on a meme coin, but the likelihood of you hitting those is very, very low. And also, likelihood of you losing money on those is also pretty high. So please, please think of this as a way for you to grow your wealth and invest in your future. Um,
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think we're
there's a
done
question
right
on
now.
there's a question on so yeah, X stocks, by the way, the one I just showed Nvidia. If you log in with Solana, you can already trade those. As you know, Ondo is an investor, and so we will be issuing Ondo stocks, not issuing, but allowing you to invest in Ondo stocks very soon. There's one question here from the Christian. Um, Part of Glider's design, so his question is here. Transactions,
Oh,
Glider bundles transactions via smart contracts, and he wants to track the trading volume via Dune. Um,
yeah,
the way that we've built Glider is purposefully to sort of abstract away how and what users are doing. We think privacy is really important. Of course, today there's some aspect of privacy, but you shouldn't be able to tell if a Glider user is, or rather, if a wallet is using Glider or not. So we've not marked these in any way. So with that said, there is no way for you guys to be able to track volume, and that's because of privacy concerns across all of our users, right? So for those of you who want to use Glider and you don't want anybody to know that you're using Glider, it's very easy to do that. You can just use Glider and nobody has to know. We'll add more privacy features in the future, but it's important to know that, yeah, we are privacy first.
absolutely. Thank you so much, Brian, for coming. Thank you so much for everything that you said. As you guys know, our goal at Glider is to grow our users' wealth and to make DeFi very seamless for a random person out there to use. So right now, anybody have the access to invest on chain, so you can buy any assets. I mean, just think of any asset and come to Glider to buy it. Very easy, very safe, non-custodial. I mean, everything is there for us. If you have any question, you can always reach out to me or reach out to any of our mods. And make sure you tune in on Tuesday tomorrow for our glider AMA, then on Thursday for portfolio roast, then on Friday for portfolio workshop with one of our ambassadors, then on Saturday for our karaoke, guys. So yeah, make sure you have a great day. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Brian. Really appreciate. And Brian is out. Git is out. Bye bye, guys.
I guess.